Hello.
Hi, Dan, everyone's coming down.
How are you? Hey, Dave, how are you?
I'm not very first. Oh, no,
Anybody on yet?
Hey, Jeff, what's going on? Hey, John.
Hi,
Hey, Dave,
Dan.
how are you?
Hello.
Go ahead, John.
Jennifer, how are you?
Good, how are you, John?
Good.
Because we have two, maybe John, you want to move a chair? We have two
Oh, yeah,
attorneys.
yeah.
Mr. Lou, how are
Hey,
you, buddy?
Tom, what's happening?
Good, man. How's shoulder, everything?
Everything's good, buddy, thanks. Hey, Gene, what's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Sit here.
Oh, okay.
Can you musical chair for me?
Oh, geez.
Okay, keep me company,
This
John.
is like.
We'll see what I'm
Yeah. I just wanted to make
Good
room for
hand.
both of the attorneys to be able to sit here.
Oh, man. Going pretty good.
Good, how's it going? Your house doing very
I
good.
wasn't getting it.
Hopefully you're good, man. Doing a nice job. Where did you take your while?
Yeah.
Say, I nice job. That's what I
No, you have to.
I know, but I keep
Last time I saw
You
you.
better.
Looks like we have more mics now. right?
Something-
Did we have some?
That's right, what was I working on?
No.
I can't even recall what it was.
Did you work?
It was.
Looks like something's definitely got
These are
better
definitely
coverage.
different.
No, those are better.
Well, no, we have better coverage than these. Yeah.
No, because you're used to
Oh,
sitting
yeah,
here.
yeah.
These
Yeah,
are
no,
all the
but I
same.
didn't.
Yeah, it might have
so
been.
see the
That was
one-
probably-
Dan has one, me, and this
I
one
saw you
always
here.
goes over
That's
here.
what- yeah.
Okay, all right.
I still get.
So we're in pretty good shape.
Time. So
Except-
it's an interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not in bad shape.
Not really, I mean,
Oh, really?
All right.
I don't know.
Very good.
Yeah, I saw you going downtown for a while.
No,
The old
no, I
job?
get the
Yeah,
sense
yeah,
of
yeah.
not too many of them, no, like honestly. Yeah, he's still
Health center.
dealing with, that other doctor that was part of
My clients are in the city, I go to.
Oh, my God. I'll show you.
Thank you. Yeah, and so it was a few weeks ago, he called, he can't, he's like, she wants some ridiculous amount of money.
I don't wanna be.
Okay,
It's too crazy now, it's right.
Yeah.
That's a shame, but you get-
it's 7 o'clock. Welcome to the December 5th organizational meeting. If you could join me in the pledge, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want give me the big picture.
Okay. Okay, so first item is the appointments. If you want, I can just quickly go through the appointments. Deputy Mayor Dan Peters, Registrar and Vital Statistics Jennifer Osborne, Deputy Registrar and Vital Statistics is Elizabeth Shedd, Water Commissioner is Dan Peters and Tom Meyer, Street Commissioner is Jerry Locascio, Garbage Commissioner is Jerry Locascio, Buildings Commissioner is John Berwiger, MS4 Liaison is myself, Employee Liaison is John Berwiger, Attorney is Daniels Porco and Lasardi, Engineer is Labella. I have appointments to the boards. For the ZBA is Nicholas Vorley to another 5-year term. The Planning Board, I am appointing Robert Pfister to another 5-year term. We also had the resignation of drew a blank on his name.
Adam Morales.
Adam Morawski, and I am appointing Jean Lord for the remainder of Adam's term, which is 1 year. Town Board Liaison is Tom Meyer. Master Plan Update would be the Village Board. Planning and Zoning Board of Appeals Liaison is myself. Budget Officer is myself. Newspaper is the Poughkeepsie Journal, and board meetings are the first and third Monday of every month at 7 p.m. In addition, we have our meeting scheduled. Do we need an adoption of that? Okay, so can I get a motion for the meeting schedule?
So moved. Second.
Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. next we have, what is this? Oh, the audit claims. Anybody, can I get a motion to accept
So
the
moved.
claims, prepaid?
I'll second.
Second, any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, next is the allowance, mileage allowance at 62.5 cents.
So moved.
Second.
Any question? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next one is for staff and board members to attend conferences and trainings. Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next is to adopt our depositories. So we have Key Bank and Putnam County Savings Bank.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions?
Aye. No, sorry.
All in favor say aye.
Aye. One step ahead of you, Laura.
What?
One step ahead of you.
Yeah. And then we have our remaining item is our procurement policy. Do we have a motion to accept our procurement policy?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Before you close, we just have to schedule the next organizational meeting for December 4th.
I'm sorry. I skipped something.
That's right, Laura.
Yep, so we need to schedule our next organizational meeting to be December 4th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Yes, all right, so can I have a motion to close the organizational meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, I'll start all over again. Welcome to our December 5th, 2022's regular meeting. Can you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, can I have a motion to open the public hearing for the Sewer Commission's rate schedule?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody have any questions regarding the Sewer Commission rate schedule? Okay, seeing no questions, can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Can I have a motion to open the public hearing for the Sewer Commission debt retirement costs?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any questions regarding the debt for the sewer? Okay, hearing no questions. Can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll
So
make-
moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 I have a motion to open the public hearing for the 2023 CDBG grant application, which is for the water main replacement on what was formerly West Street to Anderson Way. Motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any questions regarding our grant application? Okay, hearing no questions, can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, and we do this all over again. All right, so can I get a motion to pass the resolution for the rate schedule for the sewer commission?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, can I get a motion to pass the resolution for the debt retirement costs for the sewer commission?
Second?
We didn't get a motion.
Oh, so moved.
Second.
Any questions?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. And can I get a motion to approve the resolution for the 2023 CDBG grant application?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Kyle, would you like to brief the board on the resolution authorizing the public release of the investigative report related to the former chairman of the planning board, Steve Goldberg?
Certainly. I'll go through it in summary, but as the board will recall, towards the end of last year, the village planning board had requested authorization from the village board for the assignment of special counsel to investigate certain behaviors and actions that were being taken by the former planning board chairman, Steve Goldberg. It started in large part with a concern regarding significant ex parte communications that may have been going on with an applicant, but it certainly didn't end there. There were other concerns regarding activities that the other members of the planning board believed were inappropriate, may have constituted misconduct, maladministration, or malfeasance. Thereafter, the village board authorized retaining my firm to conduct an investigation into the allegations and any other activity that may also violate Code of Ethics and Article 18 of the General Municipal Law. Following that, we then, it was right around the time, I think towards the end of the year, but starting the beginning of the year, as everyone knows, the chairman was not reappointed, but the investigation was still authorized and needed to go forward. From there, my office, we conducted a series of interviews of individuals who have had involvement with the planning board, some who did not have any involvement with the planning board directly, but certainly had involvement with the chairman during his tenure. Following those particular interviews, we also took a look at what the law is as it pertains to when is it appropriate and what are some of the appropriate sanctions regarding possible conflicts of interest, possible misconduct by a public official such as a member of the planning board in this case. And so after doing an analysis of what those standards are, comparing that to the information that was received in the interviews, some of the information of which was corroborated in one instance at least by myself during an actual planning board meeting. Others was corroborated not only by the interviews but also by transcripts of the minutes that took place at some of the planning board meetings. And then in other cases I actually was provided with recordings audio recordings of an incident that took place during the village meeting of December of last year, and also some video recordings that were taken in public. And after reviewing all of that information, we came to the conclusion that under the circumstances, had the chairman remained as on the planning board, remained as a member of the planning board, it would have been our recommendation that he engaged in certain activity that, although doesn't rise to conflict of interest as it's defined under the Code of Ethics for the village or violations of General Municipal Law 18, because none of the behavior engaged in any situation where it was for some form of profit or pecuniary benefit, but rather it was other type of behavior, such as significant ex parte communications. There was also behavior that clearly would be considered misconduct or maladministration that we were able to determine as a result it would have been our recommendation that had he remain on the board, that the mayor begin proceedings to actually have him removed. And so what we've done is, after we've compiled the investigation and came to that conclusion, we prepared a report. The report that we've prepared is, obviously there's one that's confidential, that's only been shared with the trustees. It's our recommendation that that should remain confidential, because it for the very purpose of at least protecting the privacy and the interest of some of the individuals who were interviewed. But the facts and the conclusions are available in a redacted report. And so we've provided the village with two reports. One redacted, which is we would suggest is appropriate to share with members of the public. And then the other report, of course, which is confidential, that we would strongly recommend remain so and only be provided to the trustees. With one exception, I would recommend that, since the planning board is the body that instigated the investigation or requested the investigation, that the unredacted report be shared with them, although not distributed, if the members so request. So they could come to Village Hall, where they would be able to review the unredacted report and not be able to retain a copy. So what we've done is I've prepared, both reports have been shared earlier today with you, Mayor, and also I've provided you with a proposed resolution that would authorize the release of the redacted report to the public, and essentially, as I indicated earlier, maintain the confidentiality of the full report.
The redacted version is to be foiled, correct?
That would be my recommendation, that anyone who foils it should be able to obtain a copy, as opposed to just simply distributing it. I also want to point out, I think it's important to place on the record, that I did make a couple of attempts to interview Mr. Goldberg for the purpose of the report. The first, some of you may not be aware, Mr. Goldberg was represented by counsel. Counsel involved himself from the very beginning of the authorization of the investigation, and engaged me at that time. At least he reached out to contact me, and I told him at some point in time if there was that his client would have an opportunity to be interviewed. I reached out to him in August, and I didn't hear anything back from the attorney. So I then reached out again a couple of months later in October. I still have not, to this day, have not heard back from the attorney. I did, for some reason, I did get an email from Mr. Goldberg without his attorney being even copied on it. But as, I'm sure his attorney would have explained to him, had he been aware, because he's a represented party, it would have been inappropriate for me to engage him. And for some reason or another, his attorney has not contacted me at all. However, he did provide a letter at the beginning of the investigation, which I've included as part of the report, and also I've included as part of the report that unsolicited email I received from Mr. Goldberg. And beyond that, I just want to thank everybody for the opportunity to be of service in this matter, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thorough job. Does any board members have any questions?
No.
Does anybody have any questions regarding the resolution?
No?
Okay, so can I have a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
And I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Or should we do roll? Okay.
Mayor Lori Taylor.
Aye.
Trustee Dan Peters is absent. Trustee John Berwicker.
Aye.
Trustee Jerry Lugatio.
Aye.
Trustee Tom Meyer.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Dave, you are up with the Chapter 10 Village Code.
You may recall that earlier this year, we passed local law number 2, which was to update the building code administration enforcement procedures, regulations coming into effect beginning of next year, which requires some additional amendments. So I have prepared an updated, amended and restated law basically replaces the entire law. And unfortunately, I've been dealing with some family medical issues, and I have not, this is not the normal process. Normally, this would have been available last week on Friday, but it's, we do need to have it for the end of the year, so I thought it would be good to introduce it today if the board is so inclined. And then it would be available to be passed at the next meeting on the 19th. In the meantime, my plan is to, you know, prepare a summary, so an executive summary, which I normally would have done, but because it is a long statute. But I will say that it's not, there isn't a lot of substance that's gonna really matter for the village. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that deals with big parking garages and, you know, energy systems and hazardous big facilities when they need operating permits. So anyway, but I'll try to distill it down to the things that are relevant, and, you know, if it moves forward, we can pass it on the 19th. Tonight is just a resolution to introduce it.
Okay.
So.
Does anybody have any questions?
No.
No.
Okay, so can I get a motion to approve the resolution of introduction?
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. So we have 2 assembly permit applications, one for the menorah on the village green. Anybody have any questions regarding that?
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And one for the nativity scene at South Street in East Main.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, Dan Stone, you're up.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to report that today the 3-inch pipe between the Umshad well field and Baxter Green passed its pressure test, which was one of those steps needed by the health department for us to get permission to use it. We are moving forward with the Lower Baxter site. We have made the plan submission to New York State Department of Health, and we're asking them to move forward with that review as quickly as possible. We would like to be able to go to bid on the Lower Baxter project late January, more likely February of 2023. Finally, it is my desire to make a presentation to the public with the help of Jeff Smith at the December 19th meeting about our proposals to the village board for water supply rates and wastewater rates. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dan. Does anybody have any questions?
No.
Nope.
Okay, thanks, Dan.
Can you just
Thank you.
ask
Did I forget something?
No, I think I might. The appointments that were made during the organizational meeting, did that have to be a motion in a second? We didn't have one.
Yes, yeah,
Can
you should
we
have that.
do that in this meeting, is that okay?
Yeah, yes, go back and, well, why don't you reopen the organizational meeting, just to
Okay,
be
so
clear.
when we close this,
Yeah.
go back to
Yeah.
it.
We didn't do a motion for that?
Not for you.
I don't think you did.
Did we? I don't
Moved too
remember
fast.
doing that.
All right, well, we should finish this meeting first. and
Yes.
we'll go back.
Yes,
Yeah.
go back to it.
Sorry. Thank you, Jerry.
Just asking.
All right, can I get a motion to approve the November bills for $305,779.79?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, before we close this meeting, does anybody have anything they would like to bring forward?
I do. Back in October, November, the board had approved spending $3,500 to do the road striping in the village for most of the main roads. The person came to do the work and met with Jimmy, our highway foreman, and there was some miscommunication between myself and James. And they did 2 additional roads. They did South Street as well as Lakeside. Both roads did need to be done. So the work was performed as an additional $1,762.50 on that voucher. I just want to make the board aware that we're going to be paying that. Okay?
Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah.
Any questions?
No.
Okay, thank you, Jerry.
Sure.
All right, so we're gonna close this meeting and then go into open comment, or close this meeting, go back and open this one, then close for open comment.
I would close this one and then go, and then reopen the organization.
And then do open
Yeah, I
comment
agree.
after,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
all right. So can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, so bear with us one more minute. Okay, can I have a motion to reopen the organizational meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Can I have a motion to approve the appointments as I ran through them?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 I have a motion to close the organizational meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay. Open comment. Does anybody have any questions or concerns?
Move yourself, Mr. Mullane. I'd like to welcome Gene to the planning board. I'd like to thank you for his appointment. I'm sure he's gonna bring a lot of, open-mindedness and free thinking. I know he loves the village of Pawling like we all do, and I think he's gonna be an excellent addition.
Yes.
Welcome.
Welcome
Welcome,
aboard.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All right, thank you. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Dan.
Not 15, so there was 40, and I was like.
Well, I-